Okay, so I'm joined by Kyle from Otter Hockey. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us, Fraser.
It's great to have you on. So let's start off. Otter Hockey. Where does the name come from?
So the name came from me and my mates at university, just having a look and playing around with names. And I texted my sister. My sister went, "What about Otter?" So we went, "Yeah, all right, let's go with that." But really, it's because Otters are team players. They float in a raft together. And they're really, really intelligent. And one thing we find with hockey players is, they are very intelligent. And we do work in teams very well.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned it there. You started Otter when you're at university.
Yeah.
Talk me through a little bit of the decision making of starting a brand at that time.
Yeah, so I actually worked with another company. I don't know if they're still producing sticks anymore, but it's another startup as well. It's called LKS in the summer of 2018. And then we decided to go different ways. And I was just on my third year field trip and thought, you know what, let me see if I can do it on my own. So we got in touch with some people that we knew. They helped us out a little bit. Next thing you know, I get back from Iceland and I've got 6 sticks at my uni house, and my flatmates are going, "What are you doing, Carl? This is really, really silly." But we started Instagram page, everything, and it's just quite organic, really. So yeah.
So it was working with another brand, decided to go separate ways.
Yeah.
And just spur of the moment thought, I'm going to go for it.
Literally spur of the moment. Like, we were on a coach, my mate and I were talking. He was like, "Well, why don't you just do it?" So we just did it. It's really, really proper studenty, quite organic, but good fun at the same time. So it's not serious, but it just keeps us really energized when we do it, because it's not like it's not someone else telling us to do it.
Yeah. And how quickly did everything kind of take off from that first batch of samples to kind of website and the sales? How long did that process take?
So that was probably about a 3-month process. So we did a little sampling. We got rid of some. We gave some of the students at Reading, a couple of the players at the club as well. And the feedback wasn't great, to be honest. So we went away and we worked on it a little bit more. And over December 2018, I made the website when I was on my Christmas holidays, meant to be doing my third year work, which the after work sort of took priority, which in hindsight wasn't the best idea, but the grades will still manage to be achieved as pieces. And then launched the website, get the sticks out. I think 30 sticks sold out in like 10 days or something. So it was a 3-month process, really. But we weren't doing it full time. We were kind of just messing about at the start.
And so from there, grown, and obviously you last year were voted best value brand by my followers on Instagram. So it wasn't kind of a decision made by me. It was literally by the hockey community.
Mm-hmm.
So was there a small cheese and wine tasting like at 10 Downing Street to celebrate?
You know what? I really wish I'd gone to that little Boris rave at number 10, but no, unfortunately, I wasn't. I was on the flight back from seeing my parents. But in terms of best value and the value and everything, that was where we really started, and that was it was my friends and I messing around, but also at the same time we were a bit frustrated because we kind of looked at it and we went, look, we can't really afford a 100%, 90% carbon hockey stick without a sponsorship. So that's where it came from. But the party will be held in the summer when it's a bit more appropriate.
And is that kind of value for money where you would pitch Otter as being different from other brands, of offering that kind of high quality product for a more reasonable price? Or is there something else that you would also throw in there as what makes Otter stand out from the rest of the brands out there?
Well, I think there's 2 levers here. I think that the first lever is the affordability of it in comparison to other brands. Now, obviously, £200 for a hockey stick, including all taxes and everything, is still a lot of money. So it is that, but it's also the fact that we create this affordable stuff. But it's all relative. Affordable isn't affordable for everyone. Within different demographics. So for us, it was very important that we made sure that those that don't have access to affordable equipment, or what we call affordable equipment, still have access to equipment. So for us, the second lever was really okay, how do we do that? And it took a little while to figure it out and everything to come together. So we had to have conversations with the right people. But we started Project Reuse. And so the second lever of Otter is not just the business side of it, but it's, you know, trying to make sure that we're leaving a little bit of an impact within the wider community, not just the UK and the US and Europe. So yeah, you know, we help out where possible by collecting donations from other societies and clubs. And recently, we've really teamed up with Bristol Uni. So yeah, if you want to donate and you are from Bristol and you're watching this, just go to the Coombe Dingle reception at Bristol Uni pitches and drop off your sticks, and everything will be sent to us, or we'll come and collect it, and we distribute it and pay it off our own back.
No, that's really good. It was something I wanted to get onto, was talking about that. So I'm glad that it's come up so quickly. From that going forward, what are we going to expect to see coming from Otter in the future, do you think?
So I think for us, it's taking the next step and separating our stick from others a little bit more. So currently the sticks are really good, and we've got some fantastic and really great people using them from both, you know, the level they're playing at, but also the people that they are. But yeah, for us, the next step is investing in molds, investing in, you know, little ideas that are in a bit of a niche that, you know, others haven't really picked up on. And you and I have discussed something, Fraser. But yeah, it's just looking about how we can do things a little bit differently to others now. You know, how we can innovate on our sticks in particular, which is the most important thing. So we're always collecting feedback. We're always speaking to our athletes to make sure that we're not just pumping out stuff that's biased for what we want, but it is actually wanted by, you know, the top of the top, the Scotland internationals, the Spanish internationals, or, you know, junior Premier League players, or whoever it is. We're making the right thing for them. I also can't give you too much information on what's coming up, but I think you've got quite a big clue with that answer there. But also staff, so clothing. So for us, I think clothing's a brilliant opportunity. But also, again, university students, a lot of the time they're looking at Player Layer or other brands, and they are quite expensive to purchase, and jackets might not be affordable, jumpers might not be affordable. So for us, obviously within the current climate and the way things are growing, in terms of the cost of everything, but we're trying to make that accessible to students. So those that can't afford the Player Layer or can't necessarily afford more expensive brands like we couldn't, are having access to that thing. So it's about making sure that people from similar situations to us at Otter still have access to everything.
Cool. And you touched on it a bit there, obviously, with the current climate as it is. How has that affected Otter as a company?
So Otter is it's been the best thing that could ever happen to us, to be honest. I think one thing that a lot of people don't know is that we're not a big company, but we're also not run by older people. We're run by a group of 23, 24-year-old lads, and my sister as well. So it's a family business, and we're still learning. We're always learning. And I guess you could say we got a little bit complacent before the pandemic struck. I just left my job to come and focus on Otter full time, and then we just were encountering problem after problem with delays to equipment. The cost of everything going up. So the cost of shipping, we've really spent this year what we spent in shipping the first 2 years of running the business, and that's in like 4 months. So the cost of everything is exponentially rising. But at the same time, it is the best thing that could have happened, because it forced us to go and realise that in order to continue to do this and continue to be able to provide people with access to good equipment that's affordable but also top of the range, we had to go get investment. So last year, me and one of my best mates, we were every day texting back and forth, refining the business plan, the funding plan as well, investor deck, getting it out to people, getting really, really brutally honest feedback, and it was hard, but it was a great learning experience. And the pandemic's not been easy for anyone, But yeah, we've just done everything we can to make it a learning experience and not just, oh, we're going through a lot of rubbish right now.
No, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be such a positive. Obviously, the
There's
cost
so
of
much
materials and
negative as
everything
well.
going
Yeah.
up, but no, I think it's cool that you can turn that into a positive like you have.
Yeah, well, there still are days. We're not just positive all the time, but there are days where we don't feel great, or we're upset, or as a business it is hard in this climate. The cost. I mean, we've said it like 3 times now, but the cost of everything is going up so high. It's unfortunate, but we just have to make sure that we're trying to learn from it and not just sticking our heads in.
Okay, so let's talk about your range of products. So you obviously cover off the standard hockey needs of sticks, bags, shin pads, clothing. So you've got the 90, 70 and 100 carbon range.
Yeah.
And it's across 4 profiles?
So it's across 4. So you've got 5 actually, sorry. You've got a goalie stick, mid bow, pro bend, a low bow, and a ultra low bow, or a O-range as we call it. So a drag flicking stick. And yeah, I guess the separation between our sticks and some of the other brands is ours are a little bit lighter, they're a bit cheaper, and they are of the same quality, and we can actually attest to that. Because again, we use the pandemic as this massive learning experience. And to improve the quality, we actually had to work with another brand. It's quite a big Belgian brand, and I can't name them at this moment in time. I can't name them just in general, but we had to use this as we need to get better from everything that's going on, or we're going to get left behind. So the range is quite comprehensive, but that's the separation between our sticks and other sticks.
And which of the range is your stick of choice?
So I use 070. I've got a terrible first touch. I call it a trampoline. I need a really soft first touch. So for the control, but I also love because the head's brilliant for 3D skills. If you need to sling it, you can sling it. It's also great for injections as well, actually. So you can really get it in the hook and get accurate. But yeah, I love the 070. And so we were playing a game against Southgate yesterday. Me and my teammates and I think about 10 of us had other sticks or something. But they're all either using the low bend, the pro bend, or the O-ring.
So one of the things that I personally have liked on all the Otter sticks that I've used is the touch compound and how far it goes up the stick. I think you're one of the only brands out there that has that kind of elongated control area. What was the decision making behind putting that on the stick?
Again, it was just being really critical of ourselves before we introduced it. It was looking at the old product that we had and going, the first ever range of sticks we had, it was just Otter on the stick, but it felt really slippy. We always felt other sticks, when it got wet or rainy, it was really hard to grip the ball, especially if you rolled it up the shaft. So we had to find a fix for it, and we just thought of it backwards, and that was a really simple solution for us to make sure that we could have that extra control. But also second to that, it's not just about having this extra control all the time. When you get a new stick, it's quite hard to get used to it for the first couple of times you use it. At least that's what a lot of the feedback we got was. So how can you improve the or shorten the adaptation time? And that was a really simple solution. Again, how can you get that ball really comfortable on the stick? So that was the whole thought process behind it.
And is there any other kind of technologies in your sticks that you want to talk about that you think kind of don't get the light shined on them enough?
I think our reverse hitting zone. Yeah, I think a lot of brands are doing it, but just reinforcing the reverse hitting zone for us was key. Making sure that if that zone's really, really strong, we also noticed that other areas of the stick had improved performance as well. So the hitting pace there, the first touch as well. For some reason, we found that that was a bit better. Probably because it had an extra layer of Kevlar. Not the 100, but the 90 and 70, an extra layer of Kevlar in there. So everything just was a bit more cushioned and a bit more stable. But also it just sounds better when you've got that reinforcement. It doesn't sound like really tinny. It sounds really, really solid and quite strong now. But the stick cap as well, I have to mention our stick cap. It's fitted with rubber, so that it absorbs vibrations. It's the small things, especially in a hockey stick. How much can you really change a hockey stick? Yeah, so you just have to pay attention to the small details.
I completely agree. I think the small details make a big difference in hockey sticks, especially when you get up to like the high carbon sticks. Just a little thing like a bit of
Yeah.
vibration being absorbed through the end cap can make a big difference to how playable a stick can be. As someone who uses sticks for about 3 or 4 weeks and then changes.
Yeah, you've got an unlimited supply, don't you? So what's your favourite stick at the moment?
So I'm currently playing with Y1 LTD Gold stick as kind of my
Very nice.
between review stick.
Yeah.
So keep bouncing back and forth between that and other stuff.
Yeah. And what was your favourite Otter that you reviewed?
I think my favorite probably the O100. I mean, obviously I've talked about it in the review. I really like the feel on the ball of a high carbon stick. I like the transfer of like the feeling on the ball, knowing exactly where it is. I think helps with close skills, and I use a lot of close skills in games, and I'm willing to suffer the pain of mishits to have that. So it's a benefit to me that slightly rubberized end cap, just taking some of those vibrations away.
Yeah, and that rubberized end cap again was an introduction from previous years. So previously until this year, we'd never done it. It was okay. Something just needs to change. We need to reduce the shock, and that's what we did. But also even foam in the grip as well.
So your sticks have kind of gone through a radical redesign in terms of graphics. It went from being quite bright and showy from the ULB 90 that I reviewed, that was kind of yellow and stripy, and you could see it from 100 meters away. And they're now kind of very minimalist, very subtle designs.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of decision making behind going so subtle? As kind of a young brand out there, most want to kind of scream and shout and really get their name out everywhere, make sure that any hockey pictures you can tell what stick it is, and you've gone kind of the other way.
One of our shareholders put it best. It makes it a little bit of a mystery, but also as we built up our identity, whenever someone sees a line on a stick now, they'll probably think it's probably an Otter. But also, we're not in major retailers yet. And one huge thing to being a major retailer is that you've got a massive shop presence. For us, we weren't ready to go there yet because we had sacrificed a lot outside. So we thought, you know what, let's just change it up and do something a little bit different to what we will inevitably have to do within the next year, 2 years. But also, again, consumer feedback. People wanted simple. People wanted subtle. People love the gloss black on one of the Black Friday sticks we did as a test. So we had a bright silver logo and a gloss black logo. And the feedback was out of 100 sticks, that everyone wanted the gloss black over the really obnoxious silver lettering. But again, there's a time and a place for everything. And that might be changing soon after, especially with the removal of the gloss black. But it just looks good,
Yeah, and we'll talk about that, the Black Friday experiment. Is that something that we're going to see more from Otter, of kind of these limited number of sticks, get them out in people's hands, get as much feedback as you can for like these small changes?
Yeah, it will be, but only when necessary. So this year, unfortunately, due to things behind the scenes, we couldn't get those Black Friday sticks out, and we did have some good things that we wanted to feedback, but we found another way to feedback it. So we will be doing that in the future, but again, only when there is something new or we want specific feedback on a certain thing. But it's also fun, as I used to, before we even started off, to get the Black Friday stick from young ones, and I always found it so cool that we could be part of effectively part of that new range. But also from the other side of it, it's so useful as a brand because we don't know everything. We're always learning. So as much information as we can get, we'll look at it, we'll assess it, and just see what we can do with it.
And with the Black Friday stuff, did you get many people buying both, or was the trend that people were just buying one?
It's split. Yes, I'd say probably about 1 in 3 are buying both. But again, it was it's down to the shape. So we made it clear, okay, this is a mid bend or this is a low bend. So people that wanted a pro or mid bend were going for the mid bow sticks, and other people were going for the low bow stick. It's good fun. Those sticks are really they're so much fun to produce. And you just feel like a little kid again. You're like, okay, well, what things do we want to add to a stick that the customers or the community has been looking for? You go draw it up, design it, get it done. Maybe 3D print it as well before we even comes, especially if it's a new mold. We just love what we do.
And do you have kind of lots of discussions going through the feedback, or is it people just have to go through it and try and collate it into like reports of like people like this, they didn't like that, or is it more of an open discussion when you get that feedback?
So there's some analytics and some data, and then there is just some, I guess, subjectivity, you call it, quantitative information. And quality. So it's both. It's qualitative and quantitative. It is both. We use forms. The Instagram questions. Those are all saved, so we refer back to those. Everything. Every little bit of information that we can use is used. But again, it's got to be relevant. It's got to be the right information.
That's really interesting. I'm always kind of wanting to know more of that kind of stuff behind the Black Friday deals and like special products and things like that come out. It's interesting to hear all that. So we talked on it a bit earlier about your clothing, something that's going to be becoming more part of the Otter brand. So you've got jackets at the minute, and you've got some kind of brand identity stuff like t-shirts, hoodies.
Yeah.
Are we going to see more kind of stuff coming soon, or are you going to expand the range out and go into kind of like more teamwear, so like playing kits as well?
Yeah, so for us it's teamwear. The everything on the website, clothing wise, is again, it's like you put it perfectly. It's the brand identity stuff. So we just call it the Otter Basics range behind the scenes. But yeah, the thing that we're going to be working on most, it will be the teamwear. It is. We've already worked for the University of Reading. We're currently University of Bristol and a few others. Slowly getting it out there and just making sure people have access again. But another thing we noticed was we just found that the lead time for all these items was so long, like so long. So we worked really hard, about 40 different people. We whittled it down to 2-3, just to make sure that we get people that had the right accreditations as a factory, so that we're doing things the right way, but B, they can actually get it out, for smaller quantities, which people don't want 100 t-shirts, people want 10, 15, 20 t-shirts, but also within 8 weeks. And that's key to everything that we do, really. And sometimes there are delays, but our average delivery time is 5 weeks. So it's just making sure that all the foundations are there, everything's set before we really, really start making a push. So yeah, that's where it's going now.
And then from that, are you going to kind of push on to do more of your kind of brand identity clothing? Are you going to offer more options, more style? So are you going to offer like a training t-shirt that's more teamwear that maybe they can put sponsorship on for clubs and things like that?
Yeah, certainly. We're not going to just sit on what we currently have. Some of the stuff in the range currently is going for next season. Some new stuff's coming in, so it's just always looking at what people like, what sells, where the really good feedback is, what people want. If anyone's watching this podcast, you're going to get new information. We're doing the Black Quarters it next year, and you've got that for free here. Because thank you for watching, but people wanted it, but like people, all the time, where's your Black Quarter set? Where's your Black Quarter set? I think the image on clothing on the website is my sister in the Black Quarter set, so it's something that people want.
And how soon will we see an Otter t-shirt with a picture of an otter holding an otter stick?
See, we've got those cartoons already done, although there's no set day. I'm sure, Fraser, if you wanted to collab or something, we could work something out.
Absolutely. Okay, so the big question that I've been throwing out in a few of these brand pitch episodes, which is always entertaining. You're given a golden ticket. You can sign any hockey player that you want who's playing currently. Who would you want to bring into the Otter family?
Aaron Matson, USA. I think it is a golden ticket, but with the nil coming in, the US is growing mad. Aaron Matson, she's really young. She's ridiculously good at hockey. She holds like all of the North Carolina records, and she's a leader in that team. But she's only like 20, 22, 23. So, but she's also a great role model to younger girls growing up that can look up to her. and it's very important for me because I've got a little sister. So yeah, it's very important that I make sure that she's had those role models growing up, and she's had my mum, she's had our aunts and everything. And especially like if she was interested in hockey, I know for a fact that she'd be looking up to Maddie Hinch and Erin Matson, all of them, because she was like 16, 17 when she was playing seniors for the USA. Yeah, and that is the sort of person that you want in your brand and people to look up to.
That's a very, very interesting answer. I like it. I do think
tried to do something a bit different there.
It's good. I do think the US sports model is a bit surreal at times. You've got people who play until the end of like US college, and then everything kind of stops unless you turn professional. So you've got people kind of trying to impart knowledge from a few years of experience.
So there is a lot of over there. There is a lot of stuff that goes on. I think especially being from Europe, we don't necessarily have the best idea of what goes on, because I've learned so much obviously since starting this. There's a lot more beyond college that goes on. We just have no idea. I think we just have absolutely no idea. But yeah, you're right. At the same time, it'd be great to have a really good club system, but it's really unfortunate they don't.
And then the final question is, what element of Otter Hockey do you think doesn't get enough of a spotlight?
This is a hard question.
Yeah, that's why I asked them at the end.
I suppose you could look at Project Reuse, but there is some good publicity coming there in the future. Again, it's also kind of our fault as well, and our responsibility, because we need to make sure that we market it a bit better. So yeah, Project Reuse, I think we mark up our internationals really well, our sticks quite well. But again, we could do better at all of that still. But the area we can improve on most is definitely Project Reuse, 100%.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that just a little bit? Explain for people who might not know what it is in as much detail as you want.
Yeah, thank you. So Project Reuse, we collect sticks, and it's really simple. We collect sticks, we store them in a storage, our first ever storage unit down in Chiswick in London, and then when they're ready to go off, we drive them down to the warehouse in Guildford, and then they just get shipped off. And it's really, really simple. All you have to do is get in touch, let us know what you want to donate, sticks wise, send it to the address. We're more than happy to pay for shipping as well. We'll sort it, put it in the correct pile. When we've got enough, send them off. But that's just how it runs. From another point of view, you're looking at, again, affordable equipment, subjective. People that can't afford equipment are getting the benefit of Project Reuse, but also from making sure that we're not just filling up our cupboards and stuff that we don't need anymore in this country. Instead of throwing it away, you're making sure that someone can get some use out of it. Because I know for a fact that before we started Project Reuse, I had, I think, 4 sticks. Just from the age of 13 when I started playing. Old Griffins, Adidas, there was the young ones in there as well. But they were literally sitting there doing nothing. I had no use for them beyond nostalgia. So I just thought, someone can benefit from it. And it's making sure that we're not just hoarding everything here, but we're making sure it's distributed to those that need it. Again, it's a really simple scheme at the end of the day.
It's a good scheme. It's good to get, like you say, get sticks into the hands of people so they can get playing and help to kind of grow the sport.
Yeah, but I missed that completely. But yeah, you're right, grow the sport as well. It's so important for this community, especially as it being a sports sport.
Okay, and just before we close off, Taff really, really wants more free stuff for the podcast. So can he have an Otter t-shirt that he can wear? Yeah, man. Just let us know the address you want it shipped to, and we'll sort you out with a little package. Awesome. Thank you very much for being on. No, thank you for having us, Fraser. It's been really good. And if you ever need us on here again, just let us know. So thank you.